Welcome to Saturday Stories, the series where I tell you a story about a photo that I took or a memory that I have. This week, it's a memory. Key and I had plans one late August to head down to Key West, Florida, and hang out for a weekend. Unfortunately, Murphy, that horrible law, the one that says if anything can go wrong, it totally will, hit us pretty hard. First, the news said a hurricane was going to sweep across the Keys and make it difficult for us to enjoy anything down there. So we decided Key West is out. That was plan A. Let's move on to plan B. Let's go to Savannah, Georgia. We'll just skip ahead in the itineraries that we have already planned. So we decided to go to Savannah. And then the news said, hey, that hurricane, it isn't going down to the Keys anymore. It's going to come up and around and hit Georgia. So, okay, Murph, let's skip it. Let's head down to the Keys. By that time, we had stopped checking the news. We're over it. We're done. We're just going to go down to the Keys and just see what happens because we're now on plan C. So we head down there and the trip is going pretty fine. We have our stops on the way like normal. And, we spent a lot of time traveling down. We get to Homestead and we decide to stay for the night. So we stopped at a hotel. We unpack our stuff. We go out a little bit to get dinner and stuff. And we're talking to the locals there. And they tell us that if that hurricane goes over the Keys, they're going to close the bridge. And once you're in there, you can't get out. So while we're not really afraid of hurricanes on land, on our part of land in Florida, we're not sure how they hit the Keys, but we know that people have lived there forever, and a lot of them don't leave during hurricanes, so it must be okay. So we're thinking, well, we'll just go down there anyway. But then we got to thinking, gas is kind of low, and we're going to need to get gas in the morning. And if this hurricane is coming like within the next day, we might not be able to get gas. It was a whole conversation about it. So we decided to do a plan D. In the morning, we would find something fun to do locally and then see if we could get gas. And then if we got gas, we were going to go ahead and head down the bridge and get into Key West. If we couldn't get gas, we were going to head back up towards Orlando and our home. So that's what we decided to do. We spent that night Googling, figuring out a place to go. And I had remembered Coral Castle because my mom always wanted to go to Coral Castle. We always talked about coming down to Homestead to go to Coral Castle, but we never did. So I Googled it. We found it. We looked at the prices of it. We don't usually go places that cost a lot of money, but we decided to go to Coral Castle in the morning. So we get there and it's rainy and it's drizzly. It's not really like a super rain. So we figured, it's fine. So we get out, we go in, we're talking to the tour guide. We're the only ones there, which tends to happen a lot to us because we go at weird times. But for this one in particular, we were there alone. It was raining and people were prepping for a hurricane. So we go in and we're talking to the tour guide and we learned a lot. I can't remember any of it except for the guy's name was Ed and that he was in love with a woman who sure enough didn't want to marry him. And he went kind of, banana sandwich a little bit and built this coral dollhouse basically with his imagination and just himself. He didn't have help or big cranes or anything like that. He just kind of built it by himself. And these stones are huge. They're huge pieces of coral that he carved out into this dollhouse. I mean, there's tables, there's chairs, there's beds, there's sinks, really. There's staircases. There's a naughty corner. There's a timeout corner. There's all kinds of things in that area that this man dreamed up and built. And he built a gate that could open and close. It was 9 tons. It doesn't do it anymore, but it opened and closed for years on its own. What still does work though is there's another stone that turns in a circle, and you can just put your hand on it and just barely push it and it'll turn, which was really cool. We watched, Keith's son do it, and he was able to just push it really easy. So anyway, 5 out of 5 suitcases for this place. I would love to go back sometime. But that being said, we had a great time there. We took the tour. After the tour, we got to wander around on our own and take pictures and stuff. And then we decided we got to go get gas. Let's just go and see if we can even get gas. So we left there and we got on the first line for gas and realized this line is all the way out of the gas station's parking lot and into the highway. And it doesn't look like it's moving at all. So we left that one. We went to another one. And the attendant, one of the people who work at the gas station, comes around and tells everybody in their cars, we are out of gas. We do not have any gas left. So we started thinking about it. This is an area that was hit by Hurricane Andrew. It was flattened. They're going to take it way more seriously than us from Orlando would. So we decided maybe we just need to head back towards Orlando and see if we can even get gas up there, or if this hurricane is more serious than we think it is. So we headed back towards Orlando, and we could not find gas until we hit Tampa. So we absolutely made the right choice to plan D it and head back home. So we get back to Orlando. Key drops me off. She goes to her place. We figure we're going to have a rough weekend, that this hurricane is going to sweep across Florida. It's going to be a thing. And we just need to be at home with me, with my daughter, and her with her kid, and everything's going to be fine. So we spent the next 3 days at home, chit-chatting every now and then about how this hurricane, even though Murphy kept sending it our way, never made landfall. It literally went across the side of Florida, never made landfall, never sent storm surges, nothing, just a little bit of rain that whole weekend. And we had to adapt. We had to change. We still saw something amazing. We still experienced something awesome. But sometimes Murphy wins. And that was so far the only case of that happening. And it was Plan D, the trip that Murph planned. Anyway, I think that as long as you can face any travel situation with a little bit of humor and a whole lot of flexibility, you may just see something wonderful anyway. And that's it. That's my Quickie Saturday story. Thanks for stopping in. Like and subscribe if you want to hear more. Comment if you know any weird places that I should visit.